Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Oji.
Happy Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes. Good morning, Tundun. How are you?
Oji.
We're going out this weekend.
Yes,
we are, because she doesn't like going out.
You know what I'm like. I don't leave my house.
No, you're not. Maybe Rufai. Good morning, Rufai. How are you?
Hi, Oji. How's it going?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you.
You guys are going for Biden celebration?
Yes. You got it right.
Well, you know, you have a good reason to invite me this weekend.
Tomorrow is somebody's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's birthday.
All right, well, good morning to you viewers. We begin what's trending in the United States, where a popular American preacher and Donald Trump's spiritual advisor, Paula White-Cain, on Wednesday led prayers for the president's victory in the election. During the prayer session, the spiritual advisor claimed that demonic people with demonic plans are working at high levels to ruin Trump's victory at the election. She then invoked angelic reinforcement from Africa to give Donald Trump victory. Let's take a listen.
For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. For angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. Hamanda aka ata raka teda baka sanda ata ambo osa kata rite eke banda ata rike didi ashata. For angels have even been dispatched from Africa right now. Africa right now. Africa right now. From Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here. In the name of Jesus.
Well, amen for the Trump campaign. I mean, from Africa?
You see, that was my issue. I would never mock fervent prayer, especially not as we're singing now. Rufai cannot even contain himself. It's just from Africa, really. I would never mock somebody praying fervently and earnestly, especially not now that the prayer does not appear to be answered. It's very hurtful. It's a hurtful experience to pray for something and it not happen. But angels from Africa. Are you kidding me?
You're not alone.
Are you kidding?
Let's take some Twitter reactions. One user wrote, she asked angels from Africa to cross over to the US to help, despite being aware that they have no visas. Well, another user wrote, Paula White, angels in Africa are quite busy at the moment. They are still looking for YX certificates, who ordered the Lekki shootings, who's controlling the superpowers that ordered the military to invade the toll gate. The difference between SWAT and SARS. In short, African angels are overwhelmed. Well, finally, a user posted a photo of men in superhero capes with the caption, the angels from Africa summoned by Paula White to prevent Trump's imminent electoral loss, returning from the US Embassy after their visa application was denied. You know what, Rufai, just get it out. Let's go to Rufai first, because he can't stop right now. Rufai.
I don't know what to say. I don't just know. When she said angels from Africa, I remembered all the deities in my village. Does she want us to unleash all those ones? Alagemo and co.
Yes.
I mean, but it just goes ahead to show, to a large extent, I'm not against you praying for your candidate to win, but it just go ahead to show to a large extent what I have with the evangelical hypocrisy in America. And I'm going to call it what it is. I'm an evangelical Christian myself, but I'm not a hypocrite. And I have to say that very firmly. I know that might offend a lot of people out there that are pro-Trump, but it just goes to show what that is. I mean, I asked a question earlier on. I said, so is it that, as evangelical Christians, a man that abuses other people, a man that exhibits every anti-Jesus value.
Well, Rufai, I'd love to interrupt you real quick. I think we have some breaking news. Biden leads in Georgia. I mean, fantastic
Put that in.
news.
So, is it that a man that have every anti-Jesus value? Is it that we don't even care about that again? What do we teach our children these days? Is it a man that says he will grab a woman by the pee in a video? Is it a man that has been alleged that he raped a lot of women? So those things don't even matter any longer under the grand scheme and the grand plan that God wants to use Trump. And these same evangelicals were so quick to say another man, Barack Obama, was the Antichrist. I don't understand this level of madness we have gone into in the name of religion.
Right. All right, Dr. Abati.
Yeah, that lead that
yes.
Vice President Biden has in Georgia is from Clayton County,
Yes.
south of Atlanta. And he's leading at the moment, I think, by about 997 votes. But it's not over yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens at the end of the day. And if he's able to take Georgia, he will also have flipped, that state the same way he did in Wisconsin and Michigan.
Right.
But to come to this statement by Paula White, the prayer. Well, let's just say that, spiritualism is also a part of the presidency in America, as it is in other parts of the world. There were American presidents who consulted even psychics. So we talk about Trump's evangelical affiliation, but Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Ronald Reagan, Roosevelt, FDR in this particular case, Ronald Reagan, yes, I mentioned them. All these presidents, they consulted psychics, even to go and give a speech or when to go out. So having spiritualists inside the White House is not something that is new. And, it's very interesting to see that in a moment of desperation, President Trump has called out prayer warriors. It was Paula White you showed earlier, but there was a prayer session where, the pastors, his pastors, he mobilized his pastors, even in the course of the elections to get the votes. Whether the spiritual solution will work at the end of the day remains to be seen. Yeah. Now, when Paula White was calling for angels from Africa, I was amused. I said, well, this same Africa that, President Trump dismissed as shithole countries. So it means that there are angels in these shithole countries. I think that's quite comforting to hear. And when I came to the office today, I thought that there would be no problem, because the only angels that I know are the Arise angels. And I was surprised when I saw Tunu, I thought you guys would, with the aid of a transponder, would have gone to America to save President Trump. But obviously, you are not Trump fans. You are not into Trumpism.
No, he should go get angels from Norway. He said we are asshole countries. He wants immigrants from Norway. Let him go find angels from
because
Norway.
she also called South America. I'm like, these are the places that you don't want, people
He's
to
so
come into your country.
Yes.
All right.
But it's Paula White now. We know it's Paula White.
Right. We'll take another story now, this time in Nigeria. The Cross River State government on Thursday presented its 2021 budget estimate to the State House of Assembly for consideration in a tune of 277 billion naira. The state governor, Ben Ayade, presented the budget, which he titled Blush and Bliss, on the floor of the Assembly. Well, during the presentation, the governor said the budget was unusual because the government has now shifted its focus to feeding the people. Well, let's take a quick listen.
This budget is a mixture. It's a mixture of blush and a mixture of bliss. And therefore, the budget is a budget of blush and bliss. Blush because it's a stain of shame from where we're coming from. Blush because we're going through a situation where our face is red, in pain and in agony. It is blush because we are coming away from our big dreams of our kinetic crystallization, from our Olympic agenda, and reducing ourselves to a sudden consumptive, primitivistic effort just to reflect on the mood of the time. But it's a source of bliss because our unemployed young people will now have opportunity to smile and be happy that government has shifted from the big dreams to the primary option of feeding the people.
All right, Ben Ayade. Very, I don't know the word to use to describe the Cross River State governor. I mean, not only that he comes up with these names for his proposals, Blush and Bliss, he also had Las Vegas just a couple of months ago. But I mean, I like the idea of the project. It's for, the youth. But the fact is, the budget also, 69% of it is for reoccurring expenditure. So how is that going to work out?
There's not that much for capital expenditure.
Yes.
But he did say that in his second term, he's a project manager, and even if you are the son of the devil, no less, you will admit at the end that he did well. So we're going to hold him to that.
We will.
But I like his sort of poetic turn. It's really amusing. In 2016, he had his budget of infinite transposition.
Yes.
2017, kinetic crystallization. 2018, Kabbalistic densification. I mean, what? 2019, Olympotic meristemasis.
That's the
and
one.
Now we
That's
have
the famous one.
blush and bliss.
Dr. Abati.
Well, how do you blush and bliss after all the killings, all the violence
Right.
in Cross River State? Right? Yeah, people may be fascinated by Governor Ayade's grandiloquence and his stylish naming of budget on an annual basis. But the question to ask, from deep vision in 2016 to Olympotic meristemasis in 2020, you know, or the Kabbalism of 2019, what has he been able to deliver in terms of service to the people of Cross River State?
Yeah.
Because the main issue is about accountability. Only recently, the Obong of Calabar, that is the traditional ruler of Calabar, said, well, that Ben Ayade will probably have to just leave office to go and learn about administration. And earlier today with Emmanuel Efene, we were talking about the role of traditional rulers. So apparently the Obong of Calabar is not impressed with him. And we hear that he's been asking the Obong of Calabar to do a retraction. And there are many stakeholders in Cross River who are also not quite impressed. Now, in this proposed 2021 budget, about, is it 277 billion he's talking about? Right, that, you know, the state is going to move from infrastructure and focus on the people and engage in majorly humanitarian services.
Yes.
But if you look at that budget in terms of the breakdown, it was presented on his behalf, I understand, by his deputy at the House. If you look at it, the recurrent expenditure still takes a higher part of it. It's about 67% or thereabouts. And what is left for capital expenditure is 33%. Maybe that's consistent with his point about focusing on humanitarian services.
Yeah.
But what does that humanitarian service, what does it entail? What is more important is what he's able to do in terms of service delivery, in terms of efficiency and accountability. But he seems to be, you know, fascinated with big words, and that entertains the people of Cross River State endlessly, just as we too are thoroughly entertained by his emerging competition with that my good friend and brother, Patrick Obayagon.
Oh, I
think one day we should set up a competition between the two of them.
Yeah,
I hope at the end of the day we'll be able to understand what they are saying.
Before I come to you, Rufai, we'll take another story in Nigeria. One of the facilitators of the nationwide EndSARS protest and member of the feminist coalition, Modukpe Odele, has revealed that the Nigerian Immigration Service has yet to release her international passport, which was seized earlier this week. Modukpe had revealed that while traveling to celebrate her birthday in the Maldives, she had met resistance by the Nigerian Immigration Service at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. She said the officer who accosted her explained that the action was ordered from above and that she saw a poster where she was declared wanted. Modukpe, in a series of tweets on Thursday, rendered her displeasure at the continuing confiscation of her passport by the government. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Police Command has vowed to resist any form of planned protest procession or gathering under any guise in the nomenclature in Lagos State. In a statement on Thursday, the Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer said the government and people of Lagos still nurture the wounds and wanton destruction following the violence that metamorphosed from the EndSARS protests. Rufai, what is your take on this story? I mean, I was going to ask you later on whether it is constitutional for Modukpe's passports to be held at this point during the investigation. And she says that she's not been told that she's being investigated. But Rufai?
Let me comment on the governor first of Cross River State. I mean, it shows a lot of governors are very less busy in this country. And that's why I call very strongly, you know, for restructuring and in such a way that the states have to generate their own revenue. I think it's not for me to call, but if we have a responsive government, the government should make steps at ensuring that nobody gets anything from the federal purse because everybody just goes to take allocation. This same governor at first presented a budget a couple of years back of 1.2 billion or 1.2 trillion, and he started crying afterwards. And he said he knows the tall budget. From 1.2 trillion now, you are presenting a budget of 227.
277.
277. In all of this, you have not thought of how you are going to generate that revenue. I keep talking about this report, and I've sent the report to Rotus, how somebody did a breakdown of how states can generate billions from different agricultural products alone. I think if it's in his best interest, Governor Ayade, Professor Ayade, if you can see that report, I think it will help you a great deal. Rather than naming budgets with very exciting names and things like that, that's not what we are talking about. It's how you can create jobs for the teeming populace of Cross River State. There's a lot of unemployment. Isn't it shocking that when you check that belt, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and the likes, and you check the unemployment rate, those states have heavy unemployment rates and the threshold of over 20 to 30%. And that's an invitation to anarchy. Guess a state like Akwa Ibom, Akwa Ibom, for instance, has at some point one of the highest unemployment rates in this country. And there are a lot of young people just wandering away that they have university degrees and you're telling them blush and bliss. That's not what they want to hear.
All right. What's your take on Modukwe's story?
On Modukwe's story, it's quite very sad this is happening in the country at a point in time like this. It's quite very sad. Obi Ezekwesili has written about this, and a lot of people have started calling for this. And it's quite very sad that Nigeria has gotten to a point where you keep hearing forces beyond our control, people at the top making decisions and the likes. What is she being investigated for in the first place?
All right, Tundu, that's your question.
I have no idea what she's been investigated for. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We have to note that the Ministry of Interior has denied her allegations, but the fact still remains. She was turned back at the airport. This is an experience that I have had during the Abacha years. Twice, was not allowed to leave the country and go back to school. Such a thing should not be happening in what we're calling a democracy. Come on, she has the guaranteed right, constitutionally guaranteed right to freedom of movement. She has the right to a Nigerian passport.
Right.
There are only very clearly defined grounds on which a passport can be seized. Under Section 5, subsection 1 of the Passport Act, there's a Passport Act. Your passport can be seized if, it looks like the passport is fake. Mm-hmm. In this case, I don't believe that our passport is fake. If you are carrying multiple passports at the same time, and 3, if you can be arrested in the public interest. So what is the ground on the basis of which she's been arrested? Under Section 45, subsection 1 of the Constitution, you can also, have your passport withdrawn, I guess, in the public interest, if it is assumed that you pose a threat to the public. Now, this young lady, what has happened amounts to a violation of our fundamental rights under the Constitution, from 35 to 41 to 42 to 38 to 39. She was alleged to have been involved in defending certain persons who took part in the NSAS protest.
Right.
Now, under the Constitution, Section 39, she has an absolute right to express herself. But
I think also it's the fact that she's part of the feminist coalition, right?
Let me finish. Yeah. I'm coming. Under that same Constitution, 38, she has the right to the freedom of thought.
Right.
So whether she's a member of the feminist coalition or not, that's her belief. Yeah. The Constitution of Nigeria grants you the freedom of thought, conscience, and religion.
Correct.
So what has been done here is that her rights under those relevant sections of the Constitution, which are very basic, in fact, sometimes often rated superior internationally, to even other rights that are inside the Constitution. What I would recommend to her, I've seen the story in the papers for up to 5 days and all that. She has a right to go to court. Okay. There is I think it's the 2009 Fundamental Rights Enforcement Rules. Right. Yes. Right. There was 1999, and then it was later revised. And that law has been, processed severally. Yeah. There's the Agbakoba case. There's the Abraham Adesanya case. There's the Ganifa Wehime case. So you can't just seize somebody's passport, because that will amount to abrogating or negating that person's right to the freedom of movement.
This is a
and if you cannot provide the reason for it, Modupe herself,
Right.
Modupe Odele, right? That's the name.
Odele, yes.
She should quickly go to court and seek the enforcement of her fundamental rights.
Okay, real quickly, a quick comment about the police not... are they going to clamp down on peaceful process at this point? That they've said that they're not going to allow...
So that's another... that would be a violation
Right.
of the constitutional right of peaceful protest. The thing about it, I don't like when people confuse issues. The NSAS protests were peaceful. There was a violent aftermath. They're two completely separate issues. To say that a peaceful protest will not be allowed, will not be tolerated, is a gross violation. And I have to repeat it, this is a democracy.
Correct.
It's disgraceful. That means that what you actually object to is not violence, is not looting. What you object to is dissent.
Very good. All right, let's take our final story. Under entertainment. For the first time ever, a female James Bond is born. And she is a woman of color. British actress Lashana Lynch, known for her role in Captain Marvel, will make history, taking over from Daniel Craig's James Bond as the new 007 in No Time to Die. Well, according to reports, Lynch's character, Nomi, will assume the spy code name 007, which was first portrayed by the late British actor Sean Connery, who died last week at the age of 90.
We're going to watch this.
Yes, that's what we're doing. I mean, I got goosebumps watching that trailer. But congratulations quickly to the British actress, Lashana.
Yes.
But unfortunately, she got some backlash for being the first woman, and she's a woman of color.
She would. But we don't care what they say.
Amazing. And also Sean Connery, I have not said anything about him. Well, may his soul rest in peace. When I saw that
so
he passed
iconic
at 90, but you know, he passed peacefully in his sleep. You know, really amazing character. I am so waiting to see this film.
Well,
really.
Sean Connery was the James Bond that we all knew as young persons. And he's been rated as the best James Bond of all times.
Yes.
You know, as a young boy watching the James Bond series, we called James Bond Jamisi Bond.
Oh my Lord, you did not.
So once we hear Jamisi Bond, you see everybody rushing.
Rufai, were you part of that era? Real quick.
I'm really excited that this has finally happened. I'm a big Bond aficionado. I've actually been at Pinewood Studios where they shoot the Bond 007 movie at some point to show you how great a Bond fan I am. I'm excited because Barbara, that's Broccoli's daughter, producers of Bond, just needed to reinvent the Bond theme.
Yes.
And there was no way it will continue to be that quintessential Ian Fleming's Bond, that 007 Bond of British man, Commander Bond and the likes. We need to reinvent it. And this is the new Bond for this era. I feel very proud. At some point, I felt I could be a black Bond.
Yeah,
myself.
first it was Black Panther, and now it's
No Time to
Lashana,
Die is scheduled for release next year.
Next year,
And it will be Daniel Craig's final appearance, fifth and final appearance as James Bond. And it will be the first James Bond film to be distributed by Universal Pictures.
Yes.
So we look forward to it.
Yes.
And we hope that the producers will continue to reinvent the spy thriller on which many of us were brought up.
What a great time to be a woman of color, Tunde.
It's amazing. What is the date? We're going to go watch No Time to Die.
We come with the family of Sean Connery,
correct.
who was a man of great charm, a great personality, and one of the true originals.
Well, you guys have a great weekend. Is it his birthday?
Well,
Yes, it's
Happy birthday, Dr. Abasi. It's your birthday tomorrow.